So the TaylorMade M3 iron for 2018, we've just got back from California. We went to visit TaylorMade at the Carlsbad headquarters for a couple of days. Hitting this new iron, we went through a lot of the R&D process with the TaylorMade reps out there. We then went onto the range, got a fitting for this new iron. We also got to see Dustin Johnson, world #1 and TaylorMade staff, of course, hit these irons. He was posting some freakish numbers, as you would expect. We then went to our home golf course, the Shire, when we got back to London with our TaylorMade TP5 balls and Skytrack launch monitor. So this iron is replacing the M1 from last year. It's a game improvement iron. It's not quite as forgiving or game improvery as the new M4, so it sits just above the P790 and just below the M4. So let's talk about how this iron looks first. The overall aesthetic of the M3 is drastically improved compared to last year's M1. It's got a thinner top line, a slightly thinner sole. The longer irons are still on the slightly chunky side, and that's what you would expect from a game improvement iron, but they look amazing to look down on, particularly when you compare them up against the M1. The colours are also much better. The yellow flashes which we saw in the M1 have gone. It's a very simple monochrome kind of grey-black chromy colour palette, which we really like, and we think most golfers will be really impressed with the look of this one. Sound and feel was also another area where the M1 came under pretty heavy fire. The M1 felt a little bit hollow, a little bit tinny, because it's got a large cavity in it, so that's kind of what you would expect. But in the M3, they put in this new dampening badge, and it feels a lot more full-bodied, a lot more pure, a lot more responsive actually. So it may even tempt a few of the mid to slightly lower handicappers may even take a look at this one, because the feel is really nice. So the big piece of tech in the M3 and M4 drivers was twist face, which I'm sure you've heard a lot about since the launch, and in the M3 irons it is ripcord. Now what this does is, because the M3 iron has a thinner top line and sole, engineers needed to strengthen the chassis of the club, so they put these ribs on the toe and heel side of the iron to give it a bit more strength. And what this does, it's designed to give it more distance and also more forgiveness. And in our testing out in California and back in London, looking at the numbers in the mid irons, the 6 and 7 irons, we were actually getting up to 5 yards extra distance, which is a really big increase. The M1 and M3 irons have the same lofts. The launch conditions were also very similar. It was launching ever so slightly higher in the M3 iron, and spin was slightly down, also not a huge amount, not enough for us to worry about control or stopping the ball on the greens. So that distance increase is really impressive. Now in the forgiveness stakes, we also found that there was also an increase in this area, particularly on distance that we got from off centre hits. So we found that the ball still got up in the air easily and travelled a decent distance, particularly when we compared it with other irons in the market. Compared to the M1 was a really forgiving driver, so there wasn't a vast difference between those two irons, but there was a definite significant improvement in the M3. Particularly towards the toe, these irons gave us a lot of help, so if you are a player that often mishits towards the toe side of the club, these irons should definitely be on your hit list. And when it came to workability, now these are game improvement irons, so they're not really designed for the really good ball strikers who want to work the flight of the ball left and right, up and down. If you are a player who requires that performance from that iron, you should probably be looking more at the P790, which is a slightly better player's club, rather than this iron, because you're not going to get a great deal of workability from the M3. Overall, it is a vast improvement on the M1. The M3 not only looks a lot better, it feels better, sounds better, it's longer, and it has more forgiveness. It ticks every box really. So if you were a fan of the M1, you're going to be absolutely nuts about the M3 this year. It's the kind of iron that we think could be really popular. A lot of other competitors, TaylorMade, are bringing out irons in this kind of space. Players want an iron that offers them a good deal of help and forgiveness, but looks like a better player iron, and this is exactly what the M3 does. It's £849 with steel shafts for a 7-piece set. It's up to you whether you think they're worth the money, or if any golf clubs are worth that kind of money. All we can say is that this is a premium product, and it's a premium performing product as well. But thanks for watching. Please leave your comments below, like the video if you enjoyed it, and head to our social media feeds on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Thanks for watching.